Hey, can you hear me? Megan,
Hey!
can you hear me?
Wait, I'm gonna have to go to a different room. This TV's
Oh.
loud.
You're fine. You're early.
Yeah, I figured that I would, make sure I was on time since it's my first.
You're on time. You're early. You're early if you're on time for. I'm late.
Yes, you hear me.
I'm glad you could make it. No, I was just curious because I kind of quit doing the calls for a while because my computer was like, my microphone wasn't working, and so my husband just fixed it. So I guess I have no excuse now.
No.
Dang it. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm, trying to figure out everything, so.
You're doing great. You're already at success of 4. That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully, I'm hoping to get 5 before the end of the month.
Yeah, no, you can do it. Just tell yourself I'm going to do it.
Like I already have 2 or 3 people that still want to get another challenge pack, so.
You can do it.
It's open.
Just one more person. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Vicky.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I'm trying a new headphone out, so.
No, it's awesome. Yeah. You guys are the only ones, so just, oh wait, Joy's just talked. She knows better. I'm never early, so. I'm on time. So, well, we can just chat for a few more minutes and let everybody kind of get on. There's some new faces, so I want you guys to get to know each other. Like some of you know each other, but like the lower, I don't know if you can see on your phone, the lower right corner, that's Janet. So say hi, Janet.
Hi.
Janet, can you hear me? Not saying anything. Anyways, and then Megan's new, so I'm just excited to like get to meet you guys and have new additions to the team. Well, does anyone have questions? I was gonna go ahead and kind of address Christy's question and talk a little bit about that. So you guys, if you're on live, do you have some questions? We can kind of take those first. Don't be afraid. Like, no one has questions. Okay. All right. I will kind of talk about. Let me mute you guys, and I'll just talk about what Christy had asked. And if you like, if you want to chime in, just unmute yourself and just feel free to like chime in. It's much more fun when everybody's talking with me versus me talking at you. It's really quite awkward, but so I'm gonna mute you guys and I'll just kind of talk and then unmute yourself, raise your hands if you have questions or if you want to just chime in. So. All right, I don't know how to mute everybody. Hold on. Still learning. Oh. I don't know how to mute everybody. Okay. So I was going to talk about, Christy asked, she said that she's invited like 50 people this month and they, like it's just crickets. And the biggest thing with this business is, what you do now comes back sometimes next month or 3 months from now or 6 months from now or 2 years from now. So what it's called, I like to call it, like I learned from Danny Johnson, it's called, I'm getting nervous, hold on, I wrote some notes. It's called a preparation season. And it's really hard. That's where you're, it's hard work. You have to send out the invites. You have to do all these things and you're planting seeds, in the ground. And so sometimes you don't see anything for a little while. So you have to keep focusing on planting those seeds, doing the vitals, even when you don't see any growth, even when you don't see sprouts. So you have to remember that this is a season of preparation and the very beginning is always the hardest. So the first 3 months are going to be probably the hardest because number one, you're learning. And number two, you're increasing your skill set. So you're getting better. And so you just have to keep with it. And you have to, hey, Melissa. So you just have to keep planting those seeds and sending those invites and following up. And so just think of it as a season of preparation because that's exactly what it is. And then you have to go into a season of protection. So that is where you're watering your seeds. You are, you know, showing a genuine interest in your challengers or not challengers, your client, like people that you've sent invites to. So you're showing up on their page, you know, you're commenting on their stuff, you're checking in on them, you know, how are you doing? I know you've been going to the gym, showing a genuine interest, not necessarily to sell them something, but just to show up in their life, to show that you care. So that's kind of like watering. The other way to water your seeds is by your doing the vitals. So you can't grow seed in bad soil. So I want you to look at your life and think about, like, what areas do I need to improve on? Am I focusing on personal development? Because if your seed is bad, if you're negative, if you're making excuses, if procrastination is getting in the way, then you need to work on those things, because you're going to draw what you are, you're going to draw in. So if you're being very negative all the time and you're putting that kind of stuff out there on Facebook, then you're going to start drawing in negative people who are complaining and full of excuses as well. So make sure personal development is a priority. It doesn't have to be a lot, like 10 minutes a day. You know, and when you're new, you're learning. So I consider that as personal development. So, you know, if you're listening to hours of training, you know, don't feel like you have to add on to that. But personal development is going to change you as a person, and it's going to make you more like a leader, and it's going to make your soil more fertile, so that when you send those invites, then they're more likely to sprout. So I'm kind of all over the place. But so again, like watering your seeds, you need to focus on personal development. The other thing is, you know, doing your workout. So everybody on here is working on themselves. You know, drink your Shakeology, work on yourself, share your journey, because without that, you can't do this business. I mean, honestly, I do not feel like you can fake this. You can't be fake and be a coach. I mean, you can still have weight to lose and not have a perfect figure. And be on your journey, but you have to be setting the example. And again, that doesn't mean that you don't eat pizza or you don't eat, you know, anything bad. That just means that your workouts are a priority. Your eating right is a priority. So working on yourself, and then you know, posting progress photos. If you're not comfortable posting stuff about yourself, then, you know, there's success stories in our files. There's success stories on teambeachbuddy.com. I think there's even a blog. Like, I don't know the web address, but like if we type in success stories Beachbuddy, there are tons of stuff. And I don't want you to feel like, okay, if I take this picture and I say, like, this person had a transformation, don't feel bad because that's not your client. It doesn't matter. Like, you are giving this person a shout out and you're inspiring someone else to want to be healthier. And that's the whole goal. It's like, you need to sit back and think, okay, what is my goal as a coach? Do I want, like, for me, I want to uplift, I want to inspire, and I want to help motivate. And so I try to put out things that are going to do that, whether it's inspire for leadership or inspire as a mom or inspire them to do their workout and stop making excuses. So basically, like, you're watering the seeds by putting that kind of stuff out there. So your Facebook posts, and I'll kind of like cover that really quickly. You know, after you've sent invites, people are watching you. So they are, you know, now you planted the seed, you've had the conversation, they know exactly what you offer. And so now as they see those progress photos, as they see those success stories, they're going to be like, okay, I want in, you know. And like I said, it might take 3 months, it might take 2 years, but they're watching you and now they know what you offer. So I don't know if that makes sense, but when you invite and you kind of go through that process, I know it's kind of a pain sometimes. And when you don't see the harvest right away, you're like, why am I doing this? This is hard work. I'm just, you know, this is not for me. But if you quit before you have the harvest, then someone else is going to get your harvest.
Yep.
And that happens. I mean, I'll give you an example. I just had a customer order. I mean, I have it not all the time, but it happens. And it sucks because I don't want to lose coaches. But I had a coach, rock star coach, for about 3 or 4 months. Amazing. Inspired. Like, she is very, she was inspiring people who really needed help. Like, she was in like a bigger market, like a heavy, like an obese market. And anyways, I just got another customer that was her customer, but she quit. So now that girl came to me, like, they automatically, I don't know if that makes sense, but when they quit, anybody in their team, any of their customers, they all roll up to you. So all that work that she did for like 6 months or whatever, I get to reap the harvest. And I don't want it. I mean, I'd much rather her have it, but she quit and I tried to talk her. Anyway, I won't go into all that. But so you have to know that this is not going to be easy, especially like I said, the first 3 months are like, well, for me, they were really hard. Some people come in and the first 3 months are like super easy. Like, it just depends. Like for me, like I know, like we have to fight. And I think that comes down to like, what are you fighting for? Like, what do you want to build? You know, even if that's setting your goal as like $100 a month, you know, just work towards that and know that your work, like say you're investing 10 hours a week or 30 hours a week, know that those, you know, that time that you're planting is going to come back. It's just not going to come back right now. So let's see. Let me look at my notes. The other thing was, if you had a part-time job and you didn't go to work, you wouldn't get paid. So I think with a business, a home-based business, it's so easy to say, you know, I'm just not going to work today, or I don't feel good, or I don't want to get rejected. Like, I don't feel like doing this. And then before you know it that, hey, Christy, before you know it that, you know, you don't want to, sorry, I get all shiny scroll object. Okay. So let me go back to that. Okay, so what I was saying is if you have a part-time job, like with home-based business, as a part-time job, sometimes you can put it on the side burner. You know, life gets in the way, the kids are busy, the kids are sick, you don't feel good, and you don't show up for work. Well, that may not be a big deal like for one day, but when that turns into like 3 weeks, then, you know, number one, people on Facebook are watching you and they want consistency. So when you disappear, and you're not consistent, it's very confusing. Like for myself, I've seen people who are in network marketing in other companies, and they will be like, go, 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 I'll see like stuff, and then they're gone for several weeks. And that, I'm like, so you're telling me you're not serious. That's exactly what that tells me. So you have to show up for work. Like even when you don't feel like it, even when the kids get sick, like I want to like go back and say, there are some times where you know, we have the flexibility where you can work around that. And I know things happen, like people die or, you know, bad things happen in our life and we have to pull away a little bit. But if you're really committed, then you have to make the time to show up, even if that's just a little bit of time, you know, a few times a week or something. Or maybe you can't invite, but maybe you only focus on the vital behaviors like your personal development and your workouts. Like I know I've gone through seasons where I really had to pull back a little bit and I had to just focus on that, and I still made sure I was posting on Facebook. So, you know, and I don't know if any of this kind of makes sense, but you just have to be committed, and you have to realize if you're not going to work, then you're not going to get paid, and you can't just come in and come out. You have to make a commitment and decide, like, I'm going to do this. I'm all in. And all in is going to look different for everyone. All in doesn't mean like I have to work 24 hours a day. All in just means like I'm committed. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to be here a year from now. You know, I'm not going to let life get in the way. And because it will. Like, I mean, a lot of you guys have been there for me through some really bad stuff, and life happens. And, you know, your why has to be big enough for you to overcome those obstacles and for you to come back and say, okay, this business is important to me, and I have a goal and I have a why, and I'm not going to let, you know, this knock me down. It may knock me down, but I'm going to reach out to my friends and they're going to pick me back up. And that's what we're here for. That's what your team is here for. So, you know, if you feel like quitting, you have to reach out to people and talk to them, because we've all gone through that. Like seriously, like I still go through those moments where I'm like, I know this, like really. And it happens.
Or our husbands will.
Who is that?
I said, or our husbands will.
Oh yeah. So okay. And the other thing is, I mean, we all know this. In this life, we're gonna have struggles. Like, I mean, it talks about in the Bible, we're gonna have struggles. Things are gonna happen. Bad things are gonna happen. People are gonna hurt our feelings. And it again comes back to how deep is your why? How bad do you want this? And are you gonna let that get in your way? Because when someone tells you no, or tells you this is stupid and you're just trying to sell me something, are you going to let that knock you down and determine your future? Or are you going to keep going and reaching out to like the next person who you're going to change their life? And they're going to be like, because if you stopped, like if I would have stopped the first 3 months where I kept hitting roadblocks, look, I mean, you guys wouldn't be here. None of you guys would be here. And that's incredible. So that's really what you have to remember is that ripple effect. So when someone throws the pond into the water, at first it just kind of makes that bloop, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it goes all the way out to the edge of the water, and it just affects the whole pond. So you just have to remember that those little things that you're doing, planting those seeds, the harvest will come and you're going to change a lot of lives. So it's just going to spread and spread and spread, but you have to focus on the behaviors instead of focusing on the outcomes. I know, I'm just rambling on, but okay, so what else? Kind of covered most of my notes. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about was excuses. So excuses, they come, look at your life and look at the excuses that you're making. Also look around and see who's in your network. Who are the people in my life? Like if your kids are making excuses, if your husband's making excuses, if your friends are making excuses, you need to look at yourself because we surround ourselves by people that we're like. And I'm not preaching here because I'm full of excuses too. So just look at that and learn from it and correct it and realize that when you say you want to do this, then you're like, well, I'm tired, or just like a workout. I don't feel like doing my workout. Well, what happens if you don't do that over, for a week, it wouldn't be a big deal. But if you did it over a few weeks, then you really start noticing. A few months, then it's, so that's why you have to focus on getting over your excuses, and kind of just doing it, getting it done, just getting in there and doing the work that is there's like 20% of your efforts that you do are going to yield 80% of the results. Like seriously, we all know we can get on Facebook, we can spend hours doing stupid stuff. Like, not that it's stupid, because I love commenting, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not growing our business. But if we really focus on, okay, I'm limited today, I'm tired, I'm going to get on here, I'm going to follow up, I'm going to get this done no matter what, and then we get our work done, and then we can go goof off, or we can go relax, or whatever. But, okay, I'm like rambling on. So now I have Christy on here. Can you talk? Can I unmute you? Because I kind of wanted to talk through, okay, I'll unmute you.
Okay.
I wanted to kind of talk through, like, I mean, you know what you're doing, but I know, like, you're hitting roadblocks. So I did talk at the beginning about, and you pretty much know this, but what you do now is going to come back later. So, like, the seeds that you're planting now, you will see a few sprouts from that, but you're not going to see a ton of harvest until later on. But I kind of wanted to see, how are you following up? Like, how are these conversations going? See if maybe we can kind of talk through it. And, there's plenty of people who have experience and are successful, so we can all kind of talk and chime in and give our opinions on it.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Basically, and what I did too is I went back through all of my Facebook messaging history, and just to make sure that I hadn't missed anybody that I had messaged in the past, to kind of maybe that was a seed from previous. And just following up, I used the Kimberly K. I use, mostly, what she does. But, I just kind of try to say, hey, I've got this challenge group starting, July 1st. And I'm really just the way that I kind of put it is that I'm reaching out to, all of my friends, busy moms, busy women, just to let them know how much this has impacted my life. So I just want to make sure that I spread the love and let them know that I've got this challenge group starting. If they're interested, I'd really, like to talk to them about it. So that's really kind of how I'm touching base with people that I haven't talked to in a while. It's just kind of opening it up to say that, I'm really just trying to open this up to all women that I know. I'm really reaching out to everyone.
Do you think it might be too long? Do you think it might be too lengthy? Like, because it's as long as you kind of said, like, for a Facebook message, I would be like,
Mm-hmm. Maybe so. I copied and pasted hers.
Okay.
But even with my follow-up, I still kind of, because most of those people never responded, so I kind of was sending the same thing, but kind of just added a couple little words in there to kind of make it more, that I felt like it was more me, because that's kind of what I'm doing. So yeah, so maybe I should shorten it down.
Yeah, if you're using hers are really short and sweet. And I think that's a good idea, you know, just like, you might try sending it to me and then I can look at it. But, you know, like, hey, you know, we're starting up a new group in a week. There's going to be a $50 cash prize, or I know you guys are doing something similar, whatever it is. I would love to have you join me. Are you interested? Like, question mark. Just to try to get that conversation going again. And then maybe not respond. So, you know, following up is good. What about, I know you have a list. Like, I remember you had like this amazing printed out organized list. And
3 pages.
Oh my gosh, you don't finish time. What about people that you've already talked to, like that you've kind of had conversations with, you know their why, like going back to that list? And I mean, have you done that? Kind of
yeah, and I really kind of started working more off of the list more, like probably in the last couple of months, or like keeping track more. And that's why I went back and made another list of people that I talked to be able to cross out and stuff. So yeah, I have tried doing that too. And some of the people, they're like, oh, I haven't forgot you, but you know, I'm really just still trying this. I'm just not ready. Some people, they're just upping their gym time. They're going to school. Maybe when I get done with school, you know, and I'm even, you know, I've tried, you know, I try to tweak everything, you know, more to an individual, you know, to meet their needs. But I've just got a lot of people just kind of hanging there that I have, you know, really kind of talked to about it that just haven't, they're just not ready. I really think it's just excuses and they're just not ready.
That happens a lot. So that's why working from a list is really important. And I would never mark someone off unless they are just straight up no. Like, unless they're, and even if they say no, they're still, I might come back to them again in 6 months from now and be like, hey, how are you doing? You know, I might not invite them, but I'm just going to start that conversation. But just check in on them. You know, if they're going to the gym, hey, just wanted to see how you're doing on your journey. Like, not even an invite, but they might come back and say, awful, like, I'm not losing anything. And then you be like, well, what are you doing? You know, tell me what's going on. And then you can just get that conversation, show that you care, show that genuine interest that we do care, because we do, but sometimes we're like, we just want to get, like, you know, we just want to get to the part, like, but we know this works. We just want you to get to the part where you order, and we go too fast, and it comes across as like, we're just trying to sell something, even though inside that's not our goal, but to them it comes across. So working from a list is huge. So if any of you are not doing that, like, you've got to do that. Like, put dates on there. And I just started using Asana, which is overwhelming to some people. Mickey uses Todoist, right? It's Todoist. Asana is free. So you know me, I gotta find the good free stuff. Anyways, but I like it because you can put in there, like, their name, some notes, and put the date that you want to follow up with them. So when you talk to them and they say, like, maybe when school is out, so you can put that date in there. And I mean, I've tried a million different things, seriously. Like, I tried the card system, I tried Google Docs, now I'm trying this. So you just got to play with things and see what works for you. I'm trying to think. So I would just check on those people, really start working from a list. What about, like, I know you guys had mentioned it was hard to get people on the phone. Like, I mean, are you still having problems with that, like, Christy? Because you should be getting out of your warmer market now. Like,
oh yeah. All the time still, okay, we'll make a time for a phone call, and, you know, I know that it may or may not happen sometimes. And, you know, we have to make, you know, several different scheduled times and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes even I've had to resort to just text messaging because I just can't get them on the phone. Cannot. So we'll just do texting, just whatever kind of works for them. Yeah. Whatever they're more comfortable with.
Yeah. And that is hard. And there has been times where, you know, I schedule calls and it'll go on for weeks. Like, you know, we schedule. But the thing is, like, well, for me, I just want to get them on the phone, especially if I don't know them. If it's somebody I know, then it's different. They trust you, you know, and you can kind of, and with all the scripting stuff we have, I mean, really you kind of can do that, but I still feel like when you talk to them on the phone, you're going to have less likelihood that they're going to return the product too, because they're going to feel more connected to you. They're going to, so I recommend that you just try to do that again, maybe try to find a system. So give them options. Say, you know, if you say, like, let's set up a phone call, I'm available tonight at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m., which one works better for you, and they ignore you, don't come back and say, well, it's okay that we can just text message or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I've done that before. I mean, it comes across as desperate. So what I'll do is I'll wait. If I don't hear back from them, I'll just be like, hey, did those times not work well for you? Would another day work better? And then, and if they don't reply again, then I'm going to say, are you still interested? If you don't want to get on the phone or waste your time messaging with them if they're not serious. I just feel like it makes you seem more like a professional. You're controlling the conversation. You're controlling the situation. And getting them on the phone is going to let them hear your heart. And you're going to be able to explain it more. You're going to be able to find out what their needs are versus a text message and going back and forth.
Yeah, so the energy.
Go ahead.
Like you can. Oh, sorry. You can put all the emoticons you want in the world, and that energy is not going to come across on the phone. Like when you hear me say, when I put yay, I actually say that out loud. My husband hears me all day when I go yay, and I put 3 smiley faces when I talk to you guys. So you see that, and it looks cute. But if you hear me saying it all the time, you really feel it. And then those of us that are busy, like that was a game changer for me when a while back I was struggling too. And I'm like, look, I have a buttload of kids. I cannot message these people back and forth all day. It got so frustrating for me. And Jen's like, why are you not scheduling calls? You need to schedule calls. And once I did it, it really made things so much easier. I could tell the kids, look, I'm actually on the phone speaking to someone. I'm not playing, and I don't play games anyways. I don't know why my kids think I play games on the computer. My husband's not a gamer either. But at least they see me there, and I'm like, go over there, let me focus. Then it also lets my people know, like, hey, she does have something set up where she is going to focus on me. She has a buttload of kids, and she's busy, but she is setting, professional enough to where she's setting aside some time to speak to me on the phone. And then that way I make sure I can really get into their goals and hear their heart and make sure, like, is this, yeah, we all want to lose weight. That's not your goal. Tell me, let's dig deeper. And they hear my genuine concern. But when I haven't had too many people really reschedule or flake like that, but it's like a blessing to me, because I'm like, man, I would have wasted time messaging that person. And if they can't even get on the phone with you, that's going to be one of those challenges that you're holding their hand and dragging them through. And I'm sorry, we don't get paid that much. I don't get paid that much. To have to convince someone, like, there's so many people that are ready. You guys have to push through and find the ones that are ready. Because if it's someone that you're having, I'm on a conference call. No, don't say anything. You can say it to me later. Yes, go. Sorry. But see, now they just completely screwed that up. But if it's someone who's not ready, you're not really going to be able to convince them. And maybe you could hustle them into buying it, but we don't do that. We don't hustle anyone. Everybody who's ready to do this, it's because they're ready. We may help them realize that they're ready, which is what we do. But if you're just trying to hustle someone and convince them to buy a challenge pack because, oh, you want this and you want your kids to be healthy. Not everybody's concerned about being healthy. Some people just want to look good. And no matter how much I tell them, like, oh, all natural ingredients, they're like, I don't care. Well, I have a 6-pack, Melissa. I don't care. This is what I want. So see that, too, as a blessing in disguise. If people are brushing you off, you're just getting your less work in the future. Is that someone who's not committed? Bye, Mickey. Okay, sorry. I'm going to
No, you're good. You're good.
Did I cut out?
No, we heard you.
I'm
even going to
There's only a few of you that know. My other house got struck by lightning, so it was horrible internet for like a year. I couldn't talk. All our things got cut in and out, so I felt fancy. Okay, I'm going to mute it now.
What? You're going to what? Be quiet now?
I'm going to mute it now.
Oh, you're good. I actually want Joy to talk, because Well, really quick, because I remember telling Melissa, like, you know, because she was like all over the place. She's so busy and she wasn't getting on the phone. And I feel like when you do that, you become more of a professional. And I know it's hard, like, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom and we're just used to like juggling all these things and we feel like we have the time. I don't know if that makes sense, but like say, okay, like Christy works, so she definitely has certain hours that she can talk. So it's almost, I'm not gonna say easier. It's just harder, I think, when you're at home. And a lot of people are at home right now. To feel like you should schedule calls because you think you have time all day long. But I challenge you to sit down and look at your schedule and say, okay, this is when I'm going to have little pockets for my calls, and give people those times, you know. I don't know. And I mean, it works for people who work too. So maybe Tuesdays and Thursdays, or, you know, you have to be somewhat flexible, because if somebody wants to get on the phone, I mean, you don't want them to wait, but you also want, I mean, I'll even offer sometimes to like get on. I'm like, I have some availability right now. Like, if you can talk right now, or we can talk tomorrow at like noon, like which one works better? And at least that way, like, you know, we can do it right then. But anyways, I saw a huge change in Melissa whenever she switched to that, and she really started being more professional. She was always an amazing coach, but she just wasn't giving them the same service. Because now they're getting, because literally we don't have to get on the phone. I mean, there's times where I could just sell it, but I want to know what's going on. Like, why are you wanting to join this group? It's almost like an interview process. Like, I want to know if you're a good fit for this group. I want to know if we can work well together. I don't tell them I may not want to work with you, but I mean, that's true. You might get on the phone and you're just like, forget it. Like, Melissa, take her. Just kidding. Okay. I want Joy to kind of talk to you about, because she recently started talking to people on the phone, and so maybe she can give some tips on how she gets them on the phone, and we can kind of learn from her, because I like learning too. So, go ahead. You got it? Okay.
There we go. Thank you. So it's funny because you told me forever ago to do that, and I didn't listen for a long time with that. But then when I did, it was like this light bulb clicked for me. And it actually just hit me just now, which is funny. When you first invited me to be a coach, you got me on the phone. And I remember before that phone call being nervous, like, oh my gosh, what does she have in mind? What is this whole thing about? I don't know what the heck she's talking about. But it made it that much more real to me. And that's exactly how it is with a challenger, or a challenger you're wanting to convert to a coach, or whatever the case may be. It makes it real to them. We can all sit and chat on our phones, texting, messaging, whatever, forever. But when you get on the phone and, like you're saying, it shows them that you have an interest in them, a genuine interest. You're taking your time to set up a call. It's just amazing. And an example of that is a gal that started off as a challenger for me. And actually funny, she had simply liked one of my posts about a challenge group that was coming up. She never commented she wanted to do it. She never messaged me, nothing. She just liked it. And I happened to notice that. I was like, oh, everybody else liked it as a coach or whatever, you know, a current challenger. But she's not. Maybe I'll message her and just say, hey, I noticed you liked my post. Would you want to be involved? Yeah, actually, that'd be great. Got her on the phone, got her set up with a challenge pack. She rocked her 10-day, lost like 6 pounds with T25. A month later, or 6 weeks later, something like that, she became a coach. And she's awesome. And so it's just amazing. I've set up calls and talked with her about coaching and things like that. So it's just amazing how that just makes such a difference. It's real to them. Hey, babe. Emma saying hi. And it just makes it so exciting. Oh, look, there's Camden. You see Camden? Where's your buddy? So anyways, it's just been awesome. And I have a few other people that I've been trying to get on the phone with, and kind of like you were saying earlier, Christy, it's like they don't want to do it, or a lot of us have probably experienced that. And I guess they have to be not ready. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like, if you're really that interested, you're going to do it. And it's crazy. I have a lady right now. I've talked to her over and over again over the course of the last year. She has said so many times, that she's like, oh, I got to do what you're doing, whatever. She caught me last week and said, I got to call you. I got to talk to you. I'm like, about what? Thinking maybe it was working out and stuff, but didn't know for sure. She's like, about whatever it is you're doing, because you look amazing. I'm like, well, let's talk. Let's do it. So we swapped numbers or whatever, or how'd that work? Oh, no, I invited her to my event that I did recently. It's like a longer group I'm trying with Becky Reed, that's in Teen Wildfire. She approached me with the idea, focusing on teachers, focusing on those busy moms that have a little more time during the summer, So totally different approach, kind of cool. I was like, awesome, thanks for thinking of me. There's a ton of people in that group, plus I'm running one with Barb right now too. So anyways, so I invited this lady to join this group, sent her the invite for the event or whatever. Got her information, my form that I did, which by the way, if you don't do forms yet, do them. They're so helpful. They're so good. It's so easy. It's not hard at all. Ask Jen or I, we can tell you the quick tutorial thing to do them. But anyways, so I got her phone number and her email address. I've emailed her, no response. I've called her multiple times, no response. But yet she sees my husband in the grocery store and says, oh my gosh, I'm doing this thing with Joy. It's so great. Do you have her number so I can call her? I'm like, I've called you twice. What are we doing here? So I called her again last night. Still no response. I texted her late 2 nights ago. I know it's kind of late, but I know she's up late. She told me she's up to like midnight every night. It's like 9:30 or 10. I'm like, I'm up if you still are. Text me. I can call you now or what? No response. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So we all have struggles. If you're still struggling, so am I. I've told Jen and Barb, I have pushed so hard this month. I have invited 65 people through my event. I personally invited 15 before that. And I am at SC2. And only because I had a coach sign up and she bought a challenge pack. I should have 2 more because I have a friend that signed up last night, but her order didn't go through, so we got to do it again. So anyways, but I don't know. I guess all of that to say, getting on the phone it's so personal. It does make it professional. It does make it more real. And it makes them realize that you care. And you can hear the passion. I mean, even this conversation we're having now, if this was all via texting, first of all, it takes too long. And secondly, it's hard to get in all those little tidbits that you want to get in because you get hung up on the tidbit and then you lose somebody, where in a conversation you can throw that in quickly and then move along with your conversation and get to what you need to get to, the meat of what you're talking about. So that's kind of my tidbit for now. And a question too, Jen, that to-do list thingy that Nikki was talking about, or that you mentioned that Nikki does, what is that called?
I use Asana. It's ASANA.
Okay.
And if you Google Anna, ANNA, Gray, GREY, and maybe EY. I think it's EY. Google Anna Gray Asana on YouTube and watch her tutorial. Actually, I will. I'll post that, but just so you know it. But I'll post the tutorial. I really like it, and I've seen other coaches use it, and it intimidated me. But once I saw this video, I really like it a lot because it's not just for your business. You can use it for your home. You'll see like in the video how you can set up projects, and you can have your husband assign him a project for the house or something, and then you can go in there and you can check it off. And so
that's awesome.
And you can comment I took care of this or working on it or whatever. So your kids, you can assign tasks for your kids.
I was going to say my kids have that on their phones. They have something like that.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I'm going to post that as a comment. I'll just post it on the team page. And then hers was called Todoist. It's TODOIST, I think. And but that one you have to pay. I think it's more limited. It's almost the exact same thing. It's just you have to pay, and I don't like to pay. So I just use the free version. But I think this was good. I wanted more people to talk, but I don't want to keep it too long. We're about to get cut off as usual. I get cut off after 45 minutes, Barbara. Apparently, Barbara and Joy can talk forever, and Zoom will not cut them off.
Can I add something to what Joy said? I was just talking to one of my girls about it the other night, and there's some people who will avoid you, but the mere sight of you or you showing up, it's all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I got to do this. All of a sudden they're threatened. They remembered, not threatened, but they just remember oh, I had these goals that totally fell off. I have that all the time. I have people that I message back and forth, won't respond. I'll post something and they're like, oh my gosh, you really need to help me with this. And I'm like, we've gone back and forth 8 times. Damn well, you're not ready. And I always just say, I'm ready when you are, girl. You know where to find me when you're ready. I'll save you a spot. So if you ever see me put something like that, I'm saving your spot, I got it ready for you. It's because we've gone back and forth over and over again. And then, they won't respond. Same exact thing with my husband. They'll see my husband and be like, oh my gosh, your wife, we're talking about doing this next thing coming up. I'm so scared. And I'm like, no, she's not. She says that every month. But it happens, and it's just so funny that them seeing us all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I wanted to do this, but then when it really comes down to it, they're not. But we're planting seeds, you know. Eventually, you'll get to the point where I was telling, Megan was the one I was talking to, that it'll be 6 months later and they'll be embarrassed, kind of like be like, okay, let's do it, let's just freaking do it already. Okay, bye guys. They're gonna cut us off.
Thank you all for coming. It was great seeing you. Bye.
Bye.